Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Legion Alpha, and how better to start than with a quick look at the Demon Hunter. I've also done a long play of the entire starter zone. This one's going to be spoiler free, no worries there guys. I've already finished all the story campaign on this character, so you definitely won't get any spoilers. And there's a long play version if you do want spoilers and you want to see the entire zone of the starting area. This is a hero class, so it gets its own little unique starting area experience. Then you can go and watch that and click the link above and you will be golden, okay? So, the Demon Hunter quick look. As many of you are probably already desperate to re-roll to the double jumping Demon Hunter. There it is. What are my initial thoughts? Because obviously the gameplay is an important part. What you're getting gameplay-wise is a watered-down Windwalker Monk and a very, very watered-down Demonology Warlock from Warlords of Draenor and previous incarnations of that spec. That is essentially what you're getting. Very simplistic. That will appeal to some of you, probably not to others. We only have access to the DPS spec right now, so I'm doing the Havoc spec. Vengeance is not yet in the game. We only have access to a certain number of talents. The initial opening scenario brings you to level 99. You can grind out, I believe, to 102. I'm not going to do that because that's just way boring. But what we get there is, I have chosen Blade Dance for this demonstration. It's the extra spell you get. Fell Mastery increases the damage and therefore you won't see anything new. And Blind Fury does the same thing, increases the duration of I-Beam. So I've chosen Blade Dance so you can see and get an idea of what these new spells do. So, what are we getting? Why do I say it's a watered-down Windwalker? Basically, the crux of this is your Fury meter. You can see this up here, your Fury meter. And you have various one ability so far, which generates Fury. It's Demon's Bite, which is basically just a melee attack, okay? Has no resource costs attached to it, no cooldown. You'd be spamming this anytime you can't use one of your Fury spenders, which are your hard-hitting abilities. And it generates 20 to 30 Fury, and you can modify that with talents or whatever. So it's a very, very basic, supreme bash, 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 click things. One, and you can see I'm generating Fury from there. Please note this addition to the game under your character of your resources. So if you're used to having your nameplates in certain places, they've tried to take that out, which is curious, and keep your nameplates out of the way if you play with the standard UI. Very cool. So, what do we do with our Fury? Number of things we can do. Okay, number of things we can do. So we've got Chaos Strike, which is our general filler spell. It's cost 40 Fury. Okay, critical strikes do not consume Fury, so there's obviously a big emphasis on crit, which is par for the course for what I'm about to say next. And you slice at your target doing 21,000 damage. You also get Blade Dance, which is the talented ability, which does 19,000 damage. Okay, costs 50 Fury, so not worth. Okay, 40 Fury for 21,000, 50 Fury for 19,000. But it does strike all enemies, so it's like an AoE ability, so that's something to bear in mind. So, single target, AoE, okay? We also get I-Beam. Now, I say Windwalker Monk because this is basically Fist of Fury in its style of play. It blasts all enemies directly in a corner for 90,000 chaos damage. This thing hits like a fucking truck. Yes, 50 Fury for 90,000 damage. Oh dear, it hurts and it looks badass as shit. If I can show you this here, I'm hoping I can get the animation. The animation does bug out a little bit. We are in alpha, so we'll forgive. So you can jump back and then you shoot, and you can see I didn't even get the I-Beam animation. So I'll try and show that again later on so you actually see it. We have Consume Magic, which is the interrupt, okay? Now, note, you generate maximum Fury on a successful interrupt. This is kind of the alternative to the way warriors gain DPS by doing successful interrupts. So they've added that into the Demon Hunter in that manner. We have Throw Glaive, a 30-yard range, requires War Glaives, 10-second cooldown. Throw Demonic Glaive, dealing 15,000 physical damage. The glaive can ricochet to 2 additional enemies within 10 yards. Okay, so 15,000 for that. 21,000 for 40 Fury, but note that Demon's Bite, although it generates Fury, 20 to 30 Fury, only does 10,000. Is it worth throwing into the rotation? Maybe when you're AoEing. If you're cleaving, probably. Although it doesn't generate any Demonic Fury. I've yet to see the math on it, so don't quote me on that at all. We have Fell Rush, which is your charge. It does 12,000 fire damage, okay? Woo! And you can use it in the air, so you can double jump, and you can Fell Rush, and then you can pop your Demonic Wings. All that kind of good stuff. We also get Chaos Nova. It's not yet implemented, or it's for a higher level. When I did the long play, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it to work, and it's because I dragged it from the specialization bar. It might be a level 100 ability, for all I know, but they have given you the spell there. We have Spectral Sight. Very interesting mechanic. So Spectral Sight is the ability to see, allows you to see enemies and treasures through physical barriers, as well as enemies that are stealthed and invisible. No 10-second cooldown, so essentially no cooldown, okay? So you activate it. And this is what it looks like. You can see everything through the walls, whatever. And if there's treasure to be had, it'll show up as purple, whether it's behind a wall, underneath you, above you, whatever it might be. So very handy if you were in Tanaan Jungle. It slows you down a bit, no big deal. And then you can pop out of it. But as you can see, the cooldown doesn't incur if you stayed in there for more than 10 seconds, right? So you can come straight out of it, and you'll have the 10-second cooldown. But if you stay in there for 10 seconds, it's already coming off cooldown, so no big deal. You get Glide, which is, of course, the demonic wings. So if we double jump, we can get our demon wings out, no cooldown. Now, it has its own button, but what you can also do, and I didn't realize this in the long play, which I'm sure people are raging at me about, is if you just press jump again after double jump, it will pop the wings as well. So you don't have to have a separate key binding for that. You can just press jump again and make it happen. And then we get our big cooldown, which is Metamorphosis. Okay, Metamorphosis, leap into the air and land with explosive force, dealing 10,000 chaos damage to enemies within 8 yards, stunning them for 3 seconds. And when you land, you are transformed to a hellish demon for 30 seconds, greatly empowering your Demon's Bite and Chaos Strike abilities. Now, what I will say is, as this is alpha, when you turn into the Meta, what we can do right now is literally Demon's Bite and Chaos Strike. But when you try and press the other abilities, it says it's not yet implemented yet, which means they are looking to do things with your other spells while you're in Metamorphosis, okay? Whether or not they're just going to add the animation in or buff them in some manner is interesting. We'll see that. So, that's the gameplay style. You're going to generate Fury with your abilities and then spend them. So the gameplay style you're going to be using for Havoc is basically making sure your heavy-hitting spells like I-Beam are on cooldown, right? And making sure you have enough Fury for when it comes back off cooldown in order to keep it on cooldown. Similar to how you'd work with Fist of Fury, alright? Now, it's a little bit watered down because you only have the one resource and you can spam generate it. You can spam generate. So running into trouble, not seeing yet, but as always, we have yet to unlock all the talents. They're all saying coming soon, okay? This talent has been imprisoned by the Wardens and will be released soon, okay? So there's potentially far more depth coming as we move down the tree. So I'm not going to say this is super easy, but so far, just having one resource instead of the two that's similar to a Windwalker is definitely going to be an easier thing for you to manage. So what about the other side? Because that sounds kind of maybe sounds really good to some, really bad to others. The thing with the Demon Hunter is, although it already had an established background, it's entirely possible that some teenager could have designed this class just by saying, you know what would have been cool as fuck? This. You know what else would have been cool as fuck? This. This is a wet dream if you are into flashy and generally very, very cool and bright animations and everything that is completely over the top. This class is for you because it all looks good. Even our basic attacks look way cool. And I would bear in mind, I've done a character creation video, so just a very quick overview of all the options you have between the Blood Elves and the Night Elves. But I would bear in mind that if you really want to play this, consider something that makes your armor bigger, like the male Blood Elves and the male Night Elves. Why? Because this thing is all about flash. This is a bling bling class. Let me tell you, you can see the glaives there. You've probably seen some of the artifact previews. You can go and check them out on MMO Champion. It is all about flash. Everything's about flash. The abilities aren't that much, aren't that big a deal. It's all about how it looks, which is fine. If spells look cool, they work for me. Alright, they work just fine. So, let's show you some of these animations then, because they're very, very cool. So, you can see the basic stuff with the Demon's Bite is just nice spins with the glaives. And, of course, you get the old double jump and fell rush in there. So, it's very cool. So, if I were to jump down here to the Blood Queen, you can jump, double jump, fell rush, and oh, my fell rush is on cooldown. What a disaster. Let's do it again for the purposes of looking flash. I can't tell you this spec looks flash and then not show you some flash. That would be terrible. I've come here, by the way, so I can show you some of the combat animations. This mob tends to last for quite a while, so that's all good. Okay, so we have 2 charges now. Jump, double jump, fell rush, and then glide. Almost made it all the way across the room. Almost made it from there to there. Right? That is what it's about. And you can do this without cooldown. Glide has no cooldown. Double jump obviously has no cooldown. The only thing that you're reliant on for any cooldown is Fell Rush. And it's only 10 seconds. And it has 2 charges. Which means you will be leaping around the world all the time. Believe me. I got a mount. You get this Fell Saber mount. It's pretty crappy. I don't particularly like it compared to some of the other mounts in games. But again, that's entirely subjective. It's light. There we go. We can mount up here. That is the Fell Saber. A gift from Lord Illidan. And, yeah, you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing special. I don't think so. So let's show you some of these combat abilities because they're very, very cool. Okay, I'm about to blow your dicks off. Are you ready? If you haven't seen this already, I hope you waited so you could see it in like full 1080p and 60 FPS rather than a stream. This is Metamorphosis. So Meta has some funky camera work involved in it. I'm going to turn the UI off. Up we go. Boom. And then you crash down literally with the big Neil. So while you're fighting, I'll read these out to you as well. Meta becomes Demon Rend, a quick attack that causes some damage but generates 50 Fury. The big change is Annihilation, okay? It does 44,000 damage. And it's still, if you crit, doesn't consume Fury, which means it is extremely strong. And you can spam this immediately. This has no ties to anything else, okay? Now just look how cool this looks. And then you come out of it like that. Oh, it's so fucking good. It is so good. We'll keep the video going until it does it again. Because my god is it good. It is so freaking good. So it comes back, it's 6-minute cooldown, but god it's good. And it hits like a truck. We can use it at the beginning of a fight. You'll literally, it's very simple to use. Note how simple it is to use is you just spam Demon's Bite until you get 50, enough Fury to cast Annihilation with 100 Fury. That's it. And then you'll just DPS with that. That's all you could do with it right now. Nothing mega, but it looks really badass, right? So that's something to bear in mind. Now, what I'm excited to show you as well is Throw Glaive and Blade Dance because they're very, very cool. So I'll wait for it. In fact, I can show you Throw Glaive here. And this does ricochet. Just look at the animation on this. It's disgusting how good the animations are on this. It makes me feel sad for a lot of other people. Just look at that. How good is that? Literally tossing the glaive sideways as you'd expect it to do. So, so good. Let's see if we can get the ricochet. Double kill. Ultra kill. I just like doing it anyway. I don't even care what the math says. I just like doing it. Now let me show you Blade Dance, which is everything you hoped it would be. Yeah. You literally go slashing through the shadows from all directions to do it. Now, see if we can get the proper animation on I-Beam. I can't, but look how much fucking damage it does, guys. Now, the animations are a little bit buggy. Hopefully, we'll see somebody else do it, because what tends to happen on the alpha so far is you don't see your own I-Beam, but you see everybody else's, right? So, let's generate some Fury off our spider friends here. Just going to spam Demon's Bite. Yum, yum, yum. Come on. Give it me. Out of range, out of range. There we go. I'm going to step through the shadows. Now we've got multiple mobs. There you go. You see the stepping through the shadows going on? So it's got a very low cooldown, so we'll use it again before we go. I'm going to run out and do the big glaive toss. Why not? It looks way cool. It looks so good. And we're about to get stepped through the shadows again, so we'll zoom right in for this. And go. Yeah, it looks delicious. It looks absolutely... You can see the I-Beam there. See the I-Beam? I'll do it again. See, I don't get the animation, but it should be shooting a laser out of my eyes. It looks very, very cool when it works. Hopefully, I'll pay attention to some other people to actually show you it again. So what I'll do is I'll turn the UI off so we can see other people doing it. Let's see if I can get a decent view. You can see, there you go. You see that there? So good. The I-Beam is so, so good. It looks fantastic. There's no reason it should look that good, and it does. There's no reason whatsoever for it to look that good. My initial impressions are, it's pretty much what I expected. It's not complex. I didn't expect this to be. This appeals to guys who want to look very, very cool and have a decent time while playing. I wasn't expecting this thing to be seriously like a really in-depth play style. They've taken a leaf out of Demonology. I hope they make Meta so much more interesting. Because once it will eventually wear off, but it will take way longer than the original Demo Locks Metamorphosis, which was super boring because you were like a tiny little Illidan, and you were just black, and purple. It's way cooler than that in all respects. Way, way cooler than that. I just hope they give us a little bit more to do in there because say what you want visually about the way the Demo Lock one played, compared to the abilities, though, where you had Demonic Leap and Immolation Aura is in the game, but it is Vengeance only, which is the tanking spec and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that are existing, but they're kind of limited down or watered down just to make sure. Just to make this spec, I think this is supposed to be like a fun spec. And I think a lot of people will really appreciate the fact that seemingly, I mean, I'm making assumptions based on talents that we don't have yet, which could bring a lot of complexity into it. that they can just have fun with it and they can look really cool. And they can do things like spend a lot of time in transmog, and they're going to get a lot of benefit out of that. That I-beam. So much damage. Even at this point, so much damage. And then in all doubts, step through the shadows. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, I pulled the elite. Uh-oh. Can't Fel Rush. Uh-oh. Shadow Meld. I don't exist, bro. Yeah, Shadow Meld for life. Get Shadow Melded. So good. Get Shadow Melded. Don't attack me, Mr. Elite. I won't want any of your business. Okay, so we've got 50 seconds left on Meta. I want to show you in all its glory one more time because it is so worth. And as we sort of fade out, there's that I-beam. Please do my I-beam. I love I-beam so much. So much. It's such a cool spell. Look how much damage it does. Oh my god. So way better than Fist of Fury. It's way better than Fist of Fury. It's got to be said. It is so much better. And throwing your Warglaives and getting those big crits, it is so worth. Oh, God, it's the elite again. I have Shadow Meld. No. Fel Rush away. Uh-oh. He's coming for me. No! Ah, good, he's reset. You're lucky. I was going to have to do a double jump Fel Rush glide all the way to the other side, which I didn't get to do, which is a shame. Right, here's Metamorph. Here's Meta. Now, the camera does take control because they wanted you to have the glory of Meta. They absolutely wanted you to see how cool it was. So, I'm not controlling the mouse when I do this. Yeah? Yeah? Man, that's cool. Look at the detail. I feel so bad for the old demo locks that had nothing even close to this. Nothing even close to this at all. Look at the animation quality. Oh, it's fantastic. And when you come out of it, it looks equally as good because your soul tears out of its chest. And then the demon tends to wither and die. So we'll see that in a second occur. But just drink it in. There you go. You can see the way it dies off in the background. My God, it's good. There's your quick look. I will keep you up to date with all the changes as and when we get access to them, ladies and gents. The Demon Hunter. Our first impressions. Very cool. Very fun. Very cool. Potentially boring after a long time, potentially, but whether or not the animations will keep you interested is entirely down to you. I'll see you again, guys. Bye-bye.